Hi everyone, Lloyd again from Bizzfo. This is part 2 of Bizzfo month end, and what we're going to cover in this video is the actual stock take. So in the first video what we've done is we've recapped that our inventory data has all been pulled in by clicking our sync button, going to purchase orders. We also checked our accounts, we did our hive sync, and we checked and exported all our data. So next up, you can do this step before or after your month end. Depends, obviously, any variances that we've picked up would either be after in the next month or in the previous month. So let's just go through that. Clicking on our inventory, quick recap of what our stock looks like. We've got view quantities, just a quick filter on the quantity. So doing a quick filter, I can see there's actually only one item that is in stock. So let's jump over to stock takes. Stock takes, this is just another way of accessing it. Just want to show you the screen, but let's go through the main screen, inventory and stock take. Stock take, just a quick overview. We're only going to do the stock take. The stock moves is used when we do locations. So if you got typical a pool bar or a kitchen, you would move stock. But this is out of scope for this section. We're just going to cover the stock takes. So we're going to do is create a stock take name. We can leave the default one, no notes, and you'll see it's on the main store, so that's your default location, and this location we're not going to use for the moment. Adding items, we could scan, or we could just click add, and we're going to add, I'm just randomly going to take these 4 items. Alright, so what has happened now is the status is pending. We've got some items and we're ready to count them. So this one I'm going to leave it 1. We're happy with that one. This one, no, let's actually move this one to 0, and we're going to increase that one, and we're going to leave it at that. So what this means is you can see there's a variance coming up. It was added and this one was deducted. So let's click on our process button. Process is quite important. Once I click the process button, the stock is impacted. So again, why is our stock take important? Because we want to generate variance reports. So let's move over to our variance reports. Let's have a look. And then again, maybe just apply the filter. It filters out everything else, and we can see that we've got quantity 1 set to 0, which is -1. And you'll notice this item, there was no cost set for it, so it's not picking up. So our net amount, our loss is sitting at 15 and 0 cost of items in stock. So it's as simple as that, creating variance reports. Another important thing what you want to do is at least once a month, you could do this more, is you want to click on your inventory, go to your stock takes and actually save your stock takes. So what it does is it takes a snapshot of the entire database, and again, going to your adjustment screen, we could see there's the entire stock holding that was captured. And let's just stick with a quick filter, and we can see these are the 2 items. Clicking on your print button, there we go. This is also the report that will be exported once in part 1, once you do your account export. Okay, so moving back to our stock takes, jumping around a bit, what we want to do is, let's say this is the total of a stock we want to count, and we actually want to repeat this either on a daily or weekly basis. We could simply go to our options, repeat the stock take, and what would happen is these items will now be repeated on the stock take. You'd see the quantities have updated as it was set, and we can now do our stock take. Again, once we're done, we could go to process, note its status is pending because it's not processed. Let's move over to processed, and there we go. The stock take has now been processed. Moving over to our variance reports, we could see there's no variances, there's no losses and gains on this one. So this is a very good report or way or practice to actually run your business weekly, daily, depending on how you need to actually monitor your losses and gains. How do we easily build up stock sheets? Another way to do it would be on our inventory screen. Let's have a look at what categories we got here. We've got bar and we've got beers. I've selected bars and all the beers. Moving over to our stock take, we can create a new stock take. We will call this our beers. Once we've got our beers, we would select all of them and we would then add them to our stock take. So what this means, let's go to our stock take screen. If we go to beers, we'll see its status is pending, so we haven't adjusted them, but we now have a unique list of beers that we can go count. So let's go count some beers, and we'll leave it at that, and we could process that. So this typically would be barman at the end of the night. He would process his stock take, and for the next night what he would do is we would just go repeat the stock take, and this stock sheet will then repeat itself and we could continue the process. Once a stock sheet has been created, we could just go on reports. We could say print stock sheets. So this would create a A4 sheet for us for our item code, and this just allows us to pre-print and actually give this to our barman, and you could count the stock for us, or barman or retail store items. And then closing off this video, so again the good practice would be we're done with the stock take. We would want to save our stocks, and again that's doing a capture of 171 items in stock, which is a quick recap, and there's my entire stock holding at this point in time. So that is a quick overview of how to do stock takes. And again, you want to combine your stock takes with the part 1 video. In other words, make sure your GRVs are captured, do your stock take, make sure that your variances, you're happy, you've corrected everything, and then close off your month by going to the account section, closing the month off, and sending your email either to yourself or your accountant.